Maghreb. So thank you for being here with us today. And also we have Mrs. Maya Bourarda, who is also well known in the ecosystem, a lawyer, managing partner at GP Smith as well, many other things. Thank you, Maya, for being here today. And last but not least, we have with us Masjid Sharif, who is the CEO of Speed. We have representations of startups today who successfully raised from business angels. So thank you, Azizi, for being here with us today. We were planning to have Mrs. Mariam Diop, who is the president of Dakar Network Angels, business angel network from Senegal. But unfortunately, she couldn't be with us today, so we will have to. So thank you again, everyone. So we will start with a very basic question. Feel free to answer, dear panelists, if you want. So starting when a Tunisian startup in general should consider like raising funds from business angels, reaching out to business angels to raise funds. Starting which point? Luigi, maybe if you can, if you hear me. Yes, Norman.
Before you go, just check. You and the person in Tunisian startup are in the same room or are different room?
The same room.
Okay, that's where the echo is coming from. My suggestion that TS switch off its sounds, not only the mic, but the but the sound. You should not listen to the sound. So the sound has to be zero. The volume, reduce the volume to zero. Reduce the volume to zero. And yes, and the mute for TS. Can you do that? Reduce the volume to zero for Tunisian startups.
I think, I don't know if it's better or not.
Okay.
So we have to adapt. No worries. Thank you, Norman, for the inputs. I hope that our audience could hear us. But let's start, and I will figure out a solution throughout the session. So Luigi, I was asking, so starting which point, starting which metrics a startup should consider going to business angels to raise funds.
Okay, thank you, Aziza. Well, I believe that probably the best short answer to this is that you have to make a big difference between what we would call the three Fs, so the family, the friends, and the fools, which are normally those that are investing or giving the entrepreneur, if you like, the very first possibility to have some money and some possibility to start their companies. But this is still, if you like, within the space of your own environment, the people you already know. And especially in our, let's say, Mediterranean culture, this is most of the times how entrepreneurs will raise their initial money. When they want to raise money from a business angel, I think they have to change a little bit their mindset. They have to think to go outside their comfort zone, outside their environment, and really think that there is someone that professionally as a third party is willing to put their money and also their time into their company. So they have to make sure that they have already gone through the process of giving up shares, of having a third party that may sit in the board of directors of their company, and really thinking their company as, if you like, a venture that will have to grow in value within the coming years. And this is a very important moment and very important difference to understand if you still want to stay within your, let's say, comfort zone, or if you really want to go and reach out for an informal but still, let's say, professional investor.
Aziza, it sounds like she's free.
Probably, yes. She is now frozen. But maybe if anyone has any other comment when entrepreneurs should reach angels, why Aziza is trying to join us back, it could be interesting to hear.
Hello, can you hear me? Is there an echo?
We can hear you, Noman. Not so well, but we can hear you.
So I am alone in Hawaii, and I have no other device open. So it sounds that there is an issue within the Tunisian loop, not the Italian loop. Okay, so I will start. Look, when you start a startup, in terms of funds required, I think there are various, the 3 F's that Luigi mentioned, then which is, let's say, in the tens of K, 10,000 euros or 10,000 dinars or $10,000. Then you need to go up to build your prototype or to show your proof of concept, etc. That's when you the 100. And then once you get your proof of concept, probably, and there is you start to see that there is a customer who is interested in your solution, and you reach the solution market product fit, you need a million. And then when you want to expand, you need tens of millions. So you need 10, 100, 1 million, 10 million. The 3 F's are on the realm of tens of thousands. But if you need a million or 10 million, there is PTs who have very well tested processes and mechanisms to raise funds. But when you need 50K or 100K euros or millions of dollars, there isn't much. You are not ready for the VCs, and you are too big for your family and friends. That's where the potential comes, who will provide two things. He will help you to provide access to cash, but more than that, it is access to expertise, because he has expertise in your domain and is interested in your domain, and also access to market. It's easy for him to open doors and to get you some market. So you go to the business angels for 3 things, but you need them at the same time: access to funds, not a lot, access to expertise, and access to market. These where you need somebody, usually they are guys with gray hair like me, maybe like me, and who have some experience and some cash, who can invest in you with the hope to get some return on investment, either on monetary value or on impact value. I'm sorry if you hear me or not, but that's the best I can. Maya, maybe we test if you have an echo.
Yes. I think it's fine. No, there is an echo as well.
So I don't know if you. Sorry, I disappeared. I have an internet, very low internet connection. I apologize for that. So I hope that you continue the conversation about when startup to start raising funds from business angels.
Luigi, can you put on mute your micro one?
I think 1 or 2 panelists are using the same link. to join the Zoom link. So maybe this is why we have this problem about the echo. Great. Let's continue about, maybe I will ask about the importance for a business angel to be part of a network. Why is it important for a business angel to consider joining a network and not being like a unique business angel or invest as an individual? I don't know if someone of you.
I can take the question, Aziza, if you want. I believe that it's also a very personal choice whether to be a lone wolf or whether to be an individual angel or whether to be part of a network, and I don't think that there is a good or bad choice in this. Having said that, of course, one of the good reasons for joining an angel club or an angel network is that the statistics will tell you that, especially when you're starting, you can make a lot of mistakes as an angel investor. Therefore, joining a club will provide you with a lot of good lessons learned, and a lot of good training and a lot of possibilities to speed up your, if you like, your learning curve. And be able to build your portfolio in the best possible way. In my special case, I was an individual angel for some years, and then I started with some friends a club of a few individuals that then grew quite quickly. And other than what I just said, I think that it was also, I found also two other things which I believe were very good, at least for me. The first is that it's been a very pleasant experience, and it is a very nice time to spend with like-minded people which also like to invest in companies, like entrepreneurship. We have organized a lot of events which were outside, if you like, of the pitching events, so social events, and it's been being part of a club of people that do enjoy and do share the same passion. And definitely the second important element for me is that I have a background in software and engineering, so I have my specific knowledge and I can invest in certain startups which are close to my domain fields. But thanks to the club, I've been able to approach and be able to invest in many other companies, from medical technologies to biotechnologies to deep technologies, things which I didn't know much, but I could trust my friends, I could trust my network partners, and I've also been able to explore a lot of other fields, which has also been quite enjoyable.
Great. Thank you so much, Luigi, for sharing your experience with us. I think the problem is resolved. So now we can move in a quicker way. So Norman, you have been a business angel since a long time, maybe as an individual and then by joining the Carthage Business Angel. So maybe if you could tell us more by answering the same question, when it is time for a startup to reach out to business angels. Maybe we will talk about the specific case of a Tunisian startup, because the intervals are not the same when it comes to the ecosystem. The Tunisian ecosystem is different from other ecosystems. So,
okay, thank you. The problem is resolved. Oh, yes, excellent. Okay. I have been business angel I started this activity in 2010, 2011, actually. And to echo Luigi comment, me and 3 friends put each one of us 20K in a company because the person showed us some technological interesting stuff. So we poured money and we left him alone. And he obviously was expecting us much more than the money. He was expecting us to support him more than the money. Needless to say that obviously it didn't work out. Hence, what you go to the business angel where you need more than the money. You need both. You need the money to go to the next level. We mentioned previously 10K, 100K, 1 million, 10 million. 10K is the 3 Fs that Luigi talked about at front. 100K is the business angel space. 1 million is the VC space. 10 million is the private equity space. So when you are in need of something several tens of thousand dinars or dollars or euros, and a few hundreds within that bracket, that's where it is very difficult to go to organized venture capitalist and ask for money, because you don't have enough a proof of concept, enough to show. So that's where the space of the business angel. But when you go there, you don't go for the money, you go there for the expertise, because these business angels have some expertise and experience to guide you through. If it is a software engineering, as Luigi say, or if it is legal, as in legal, Maya will talk about it, or in technology in general, or in business. So you need that. And usually they are more experienced people, so it's easier for them to open doors to give you access to market. They are experienced people, they know people who are in your space. So basically you go for 3 things: access to funds, access to money, and access to funds, access to expertise, and access to market. And from the business angel side, it's not something that he does simply to gain revenue, to have return on financial return on investment. Usually it's to spend an enjoyable time because it's a passion, and also to the return on investment is financial, but also impact. I hope I answered the questions.
Yes, perfectly. Okay. Thank you, Norman. So now I will get back to Luigi, because we're very glad to have you with us today to talk about the European experience. It's very important to have an eye on what is going on when it comes to angel investing in Europe. So you are the chairman and president of the network Business Angel Europe. So it would be great if you could share with us more about the history, the vision, how you built this network, how it's going, how do you deal, how do you reunite the networks in Europe, and how it works in general. Thank you, Luigi. I think you're muted, so can you please, great.
Yes, thank you, Aziza. I will share my screen. I have prepared a short presentation, and as I told you, you take please care of the time. If I'm going too long, just tell me when I have 1 more minute, and I will then stop. And of course, any other information I will be able to share with all the participants, and through the question and answers, or later on. So let me just go through my presentation. Okay. I hope this is loading now.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, and now you should see fully my screen. Okay?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, very well. So again, thanks for the invitation, and I will just give you a brief outlook of our association, Business Angels Europe. We have 11 full members across Europe. These are all the national associations of business angels, from the UK Business Angels to the German Business Angels to France Angels, the Belgian, the Dutch, the Italian, and so on and so forth, which are representing the, if you like, the voice of, for the time being, mostly the mature markets of angel investing across Europe. They do represent overall over 45,000 business angels organized through about 250 networks. with an annual amount of investment which we are monitoring country by country. It's monitored and measured in different way, but we estimate it is between 4 and 7 billion invested every year. We have also affiliate members in our association. We call them the BAE Club members. They are clubs that are among the leading angel networks in Europe, and I will tell you a little bit more about also what we are doing together with them. And in order to be a member of the club, you have to have a track record of investing at least 1.5 million euro per year over the last 3 years. And finally, we do have some affiliate and associate members, which are those that have an interest in angel investing more in general. Our objectives are to be the voice of angel investing, so we do our lobbying activity vis-à-vis the European Union and international institutions to promote angel investing and to grow angel investing. We provide research and intelligence about angel investing, how this is developing. We promote the ethical standards and the best practice of being an angel investors, and we also work to improve the fiscal and the regulatory framework for angel investing. And finally, we promote diversity in angel investing, and for diversity we mean geographic diversity, gender diversity. So we are very active because we see that both in terms of geographies and in terms of gender, there is a lot to be done in order to grow angel investing. We also have a more practical level of activities, more operational, in which we do create cross-border funding opportunities among our BAE Club members, and also we promote intensive cooperation and knowledge sharing through our projects and our activities. A few more words on the Business Angels Europe Club, as I was asked to talk a little bit more about the networks. Those of you that are closer to France and to Italy in particular will recognize the name of some of the main angel networks across our countries. We do have in France Paris Business Angels, we do have the networks of the Grandes Écoles, we have Angel Santé, which is a network focused on health, and we have FAM Business Angels, which is, if you like, the first and probably the largest club in Europe, only composed by women angels. In Italy, we do have the Investors Club based in Turin, and also Italian Angels for Growth, which is the network I co-founded with 8 other members back in 2007, which is based mostly in Milan, but with angels across the whole country. And as you will see, we do also have clubs in all the other European countries, including more and more Central and Eastern Europe. We have a very active networks in Bulgaria with the CEO Angels Club, and also in Romania with Tech Angels in Bucharest. How do we work? I mean, we know that angel investing is based on trust. It's based on trust when you are an angel investing in an entrepreneur. It's based on trust when you are an angel part of your own club. And it's based on trust when you are a network which wants to invest with another network, or a club which wants to invest with another club. So at the BAE Club level, the first and foremost work that we are doing is to actually build trust among the different networks. So making people meet, making the network managers meet, making the different angels from the different club meet. And we've been doing this for a number of years. And as we feel that now this trust is growing, we are starting slowly but steadily also to introduce the possibility for the networks to present companies they have already invested in to other networks, and start seeing whether there is a possibility that other networks are joining in, investing into a company. as we believe that, of course, if you are, let's say, an Italian network and you have invested in one company and you want this company to grow in France or in Germany or in UK or in the other countries, one of the best way of helping this company to grow is to ask your fellow angels from other clubs in other countries to put their money and expertise in helping this company to grow into a new country with a new language, with a new legislation, with a new business framework, and so on and so forth. So we are doing this little by little, and we are opening up also this opportunity to selected companies and initiatives from countries which are also outside Business Angels Europe. Business Angels, this has already been said before, but are those that are really entering when the value of debt between the funders, family and friends, and then professional institutional investors is very strong, and they are those that provide their money and expertise to help a company grow. They are a very important source of private funding. They are very distinct from crowdfunding and venture capital, because crowdfunding and venture capital, if you like, they are platforms that are gathering money from third parties, whereas business angels are investing their own money, and it's not only the money, but it's especially their expertise that makes the difference in having angel investors vis-a-vis having other types of investors. I was asked by Aziza to provide you a very quick snapshot of what kind of work we do and what kind of results we get in terms of having a favorable fiscal framework. So as you can see, these are some of the main countries in Europe, and these are the type of incentives that angel investors can receive. You can see that this is varying from 20% up to 50%. This is the results of very hard work, because it's always very difficult to convince the government that rich people or wealthy individuals, as business angels are perceived to be, should have fiscal incentives when investing their own money. But it is very important to understand that they take so much risk and they play such a great role in growing these very high risk, high reward type of companies, which are so beneficial for any economy, that they do deserve having some incentives. The most let's say, used incentive, as it is the one that it's been there for the longest time, is definitely the Enterprise Incentive Scheme in the UK, who has been there since the early 90s, which provides tax breaks of 30%. In some years is a little bit more, some years is a little bit less, but for a very large amount of investment up to £1 million. So the tax break can be up to £300,000. I'm just mentioning Italy because we managed very recently to break through with a strong incentive, and today we are the country probably with the largest investment with a tax break with up to 50% for up to €100,000 invested per year. This has resulted in a growth of strong growth of angel investing. I just had yesterday the assembly of our National Association of Italian Business Angels Network, and we have seen a growth of 130 new angels joining the association only in the last few months. So incentives are very important. They are helping a lot to grow the ecosystem, and of course now we are also fighting in order to have, if you like, homogeneous incentive across Europe, so that when I am an angel, an Italian angels, I don't have any bias in investing, in a company which is outside of Italy. For the moment, the only tax regime that takes that into account is the French one. So we are trying to push other governments and the European Commission to go in that direction, and to have a system of incentive that really works well and smoothly across Europe, as we see that still our market is very fragmented and dishomogeneous with respect to the US market, and now also to the large countries in Asia. and we see that smart entrepreneurs sometimes do prefer to go into this more homogeneous market rather than grow country by country inside Europe. So a lot of work there. We are also, as I was mentioning to you, having a lot of interesting programs. This is the early stage investor launchpad, which has also seen Tunisia participating. There will be a new program shortly promoted by the European Commission, in which there will be even more training and more activities. So you can find a lot of information already on the European EASL.eu website, a lot of free seminars and webinars on angel investing. So you're free to join our website, which is maintained, and hopefully the new edition of the new program soon. We have, as I told you, a program related to diversity. We work a lot with women angels. There is a huge potential. This is the Women Angels for Entrepreneurs has just completed. There is a very important survey with very interesting results available online. We do have also programs of outreach, as I told you, in terms of geography. For instance, we just completed our Business Angels Morocco program with the support of the German cooperation, and we did have a very successful program, and we hope we will be able to do something similar in Tunisia soon. I thank you very much for listening and for joining, and of course I'm open to any question. And this is now back to you, Aziza.
Thank you so much, Luigi. So maybe if you could mute your mic. I think we're using the same link, Luigi, that's right. Thank you so much for the great presentation, for letting us know more about what you're doing at Business Angels Europe. It was very interesting to know more about the incentives present and offered by some European governments, and I think this is one of the main call to actions maybe we should have. We will talk about this more with Maya later, about the incentives that and the legal framework that may be interesting to build for Tunisian business angels. So thank you so much, Luigi, for that. So maybe one question, if you could tell us the main lesson learned of Business Angel Europe since you started. What is the key lesson learned as a network of networks, let's say? What would be your recommendation for networks such as you can activate your mind?
Yes. Well, at the level of Business Angels in general, Business Angels Europe in general, the main lessons learned, as I was mentioning, is that although Europe seems to be, if you like, a homogeneous market, there is still a lot of fragmentation. And this is a big problem for high growth entrepreneurs. Because one thing is to grow in a market of half a billion people, like it is Europe, without having too much obstacles, and one thing is to grow in 27 different countries one by one. So for us, it's very, very important, it's paramount to make this market really a homogeneous market, so that once you are in a European country, you have a 500 million potential clients. And this is where we're putting our efforts. This is where also we're trying to have a homogeneous angel market. When I look at the level of the networks, I can say that the main lessons learned is that it takes time, but it is doable to connect angel clubs and angel network from different countries, because there is an obvious advantage. It's it's a very mutual and it's a very strong win-win type of situation. All our angel clubs from Italy face the same problem when they want to go to Germany or to France or the UK. They all have the same problems, and vice versa. If you are a French club investing in a French company and now you want to go into another country, you have the same problem. So building this network and connecting this country takes time, but once you're able to do this, it's a very efficient if you like, mechanism, and this is why we're spending so much time to grow our BAE club activities. And now every time we do have an e-pitching event and so on, we have tens of people. We used to have few people, tens of people, now hundreds of people, and this is growing, and I think it's going in the right direction.
Great. Thank you so much, Luigi. If you could mute your mic again.
Yeah, maybe let me just tell you one more thing, Aziza. This is not about the experience in Business Angels Europe, but it's about the experience of creating and growing one single angel club. Because I know Tunisia very well. It's, you know, I'm fond of Tunisia. I was there for 1 year. I lived there in 2002, and I know the situation, the angel investing and everything, and I know how hard it is. But I just want to say that when I started my own club in Italy in 2007, we were 9 people. And 9 of us decided to say we put 100,000 euro each for the next 2 years, and we tell the market that we lied, because we said there is 1 million euro on the table. There were 900,000 euro, so it was not exactly 1 million. But okay, that was the message. And then we started to collect, you know, friends more and more and more. And today, in 2021, we are 250 people. It's the largest probably angel group in Italy, and we are a strong force in early stage investing. And any entrepreneur that is willing to get out of the family and friends knows that business angels in Italian Angels for Growth are the place to be. So it can be done. It can be a small group of people. It doesn't matter how tough it is at the beginning, but I would like to also, you know, give this message, because I know a little bit Tunisians conditions, and I know how, you know, the frustration can be at some point. It was the same for me in Italy many years ago, but you know, with the persistence and a group and a small group of motivated people, a lot can be achieved.
Great, thank you so much, Luigi, for this point. And this is one of the main reasons why we decided to do this this webinar today, to talk about the ins and outs of angel investing, because in Tunisia the ecosystem is still early, so it is time for business angels like to structure this funding mechanism, and it's great to say that there is it takes time. That's why I will move to Mr. Naumain. Naumain, thank you again for being with us today. So you are, and you still be a business angel, but recently we've seen you being part of a new network called Maghreb Diaspora Business Angel Network, MDBAN. So it would be great if you can tell us more about this initiative, how it started, where is the vision, the mission, etc. Thank you, Norman.
Thank you. I didn't plan, but I'd like to share my screen with one simple thing. So, thank you, Luigi, for this inspiring discussion. And I think we need to talk. And thank you, Aziza, for putting us in contact. So basically, the business angel activity is in general very new activity. In Tunisia, there is one single club which is called the Carthage Business Angel. I was one of the founder. I left it sometimes and we came back, and I'm happy to have Maya Bouragda, who's here. She's one of the vice president of Carthage Business Angel here. But Tunisia is only 10 million people. And Luigi mentioned the 500 million in Europe. So we said, look, we believe in small market. Is 10 million is like small town in business for a startup. Therefore, we need a bigger market. Therefore, we need a Maghreb market. However, in order to have a single Maghreb market with different legislation, it became a nightmare for cross-border investment. Therefore, we said, okay, fine. There are various business angel networks. You can see my screen here. For example, in Morocco, there is Angel for Africa and the Moroccan Business Angel. For Algeria, there is the CASPA Business Angel. I hope you are seeing my screen. Huh? Yeah. And for Tunisia, there is the Carthage Business Angel. And there are several startup support organizations, which is incubator, accelerator, etc. But at the same time, these are people who are aware about the startup scene, etc., etc. However, there are also a big diaspora association like Baroque Entrepreneur or ATUJ, l'Association des Tunisiens de Grandes Écoles, which I'm proud past president, and Atlas, for example, for Algeria, and then said these guys are into network. They want to invest in their country, but they don't know how. And they want to invest in their countries, and they don't know how. So we said, why don't we facilitate the process of investment of diaspora, which is basically in Europe and US, a bit in Middle East, into startups that they are to bring these startups to open market for these startups, either in the Maghreb or in Europe or in the States or the Middle East. And we started with this idea 7 months ago. So the network is not launched yet. It will be formally launched in September. So the work is done. But like Luigi mentioned, we didn't want to create a club which does advocacy. No, we want to create a club who invests. So we are in the process of having committed angels, diaspora angels. We are 30 members right now who are committed to invest a minimum of 10,000 euros per month. Sorry, not per month, sorry, per year, which means it's not a lot, but it's 250, roughly 300,000 euros on the table, and it's growing. We will launch the network when we will reach 40. Luigi, this is a message to you. If you know Maghrebian in your network who would like to join this network, Maghrebian who would like to invest in their local countries on the Maghreb to bring startups into Europe, that's what MDBAN is. We will launch when we'll reach 40 with roughly 500K euros on the table without tons of paperwork. It's individual who will put their money. And we are launching in August, we are launching the recruitment of startups. So that's what MDBAN is. So it's in the making. It's a network in the making. So we have no track record. The individuals networks, the local networks, and the startup or support organization have some real track records. I invested in 14 Tunisian startups, for example. So does some of my friends. We are supported. We are in contact with these various organizations. I would love to have Luigi organization as part of the support organization to learn from how we do it. These are people who are supporting us. Basically, we call them to how do you do this? Do you invest as an individual? Do you invest as a group? Do you invest one vehicle per investment, one vehicle per cohort, and that different scenarios that we would love to gain the European Business Angel Club support with. This is who we are. That's it. I don't have anything else to say for now.
Thank you so much, Nauman. You have brought a very interesting point, which is the potential of diaspora to invest in Tunisian startups, the Tunisian diaspora, I mean, because we see a lot of members from the diaspora who are willing to invest, but they don't know how to do, which structure to approach. So it is a great thing to have a structure who helps people from the diaspora of the Maghreb to know how to proceed and to be part of a network, as mentioned by Luigi, and the importance of being part of a network. So thank you so much, Nauman. Now we will move more to the legal aspect of how it's being done and the situation in Tunisia, to be specific. So Maya, thank you again for being with us today. Luigi mentioned earlier the importance and how huge there are the incentives programs present in some of the European governments. So maybe if you could tell us more about the situation in Tunisia when it comes to angel investing. Is it doable or not? Should it be more? So maybe an overview about the situation, and then we will move to more specific.
Thank you, Aziza. Yes, thank you for the interesting presentation before. So I will indeed try to give you a broad picture of the angel investing in Tunisia and what's applicable to angel investing. So, I mean, first of all, angel investors are investors. So they benefit from the whole investment legal framework that is applicable, and it's quite ancient in Tunisia. I mean, it has been put in place in the 90s and then evolved, and especially was also changed in 2016. Indeed, in 2016, there was a new law on investment which was adopted in order to change the framework of investment, establishing the freedom of investment, of course, subject to certain sectorial legislation. So there freedom of investment. It depends also on the sectors. So BA investors, as any other investor can invest in Tunisia. They can invest in startups. I will talk after about the possibilities indeed to invest in foreign currency as well, and to benefit from transfer guarantee. But I mean, as I would like to emphasize, indeed, business angels are, as any other investor, can benefit from the common legal framework applicable to investment. There was also, following this law of 2016, a decree which was adopted, 417, which listed all activities which are subject to authorizations, also setting some list of sectors where authorization has been deleted, and also all administrative authorization which are applicable in relation to investment. All this work is being digitalized now, and the ministry is building a new platform where there will be a possibility to go through all this authorization in order to have a clearer picture of what's subject to authorization, what is not subject, because indeed sometimes we get a little bit lost. Not only investor, but even a professional. But now, I mean, there is a work which is done in order to clarify all that and to have a better view of the real free sectors and the others subject to authorization. There is, so from the general framework to the specific framework, there is indeed a law which was adopted. We have Norman here, which is one of the father of this law, the Startup Act. So it was a law which was dedicated to the promotion of startups, so providing certain advantages for startups, for sponsors of startups, but also a set of provision providing for incentives for investors. So they are applicable to business angel investing in startups. These are mainly tax incentives. First of all, a tax deduction. So when investors invest in startups, they can benefit from tax deductions of the investment which are invested in startups, and they can deduct them from their taxable base. There is also an exemption from capital gains tax, which are applicable to investors which are considered as shareholder in startups. So when they sell their participation, they will be exempted from capital gains tax. There is also a fund of guarantee. It's a mechanism for guaranteeing the participation of investment. So it can be applied also in certain cases in startups. And it's applicable especially to voluntary winding up. Why this was put in place? It was also put in place in order to solve a little bit the problem of startups going to liquidation, and in order to smooth a little bit the process. So indeed, so there is a legal framework. I don't know if you want, Aziza, for me to enter into more detail concerning is this current framework sufficient, or should we put in place additional what is not sufficient?
Yes, exactly. My next question would be that. So if you have any suggestion maybe to optimize
the benefits of relocation.
The framework. You said that we have already a framework for, according to what would be, what should be done. Slow connection. I don't know, Maya, if you heard me or not. Did you hear me, Maya? Great. So, do you have any suggestions to optimize, and to encourage international business angels to invest in Tunisian startups that you can share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I would say not only, so just one additional point that I wanted to add on international investor is that they also benefit, I mean, from the general framework regarding foreign exchange control. So they can invest in foreign currency. The only thing is that they have to do an investment sheet in order to guarantee that their investment has been done in foreign currency, and so that can repatriate any dividend or any proceeds when they will sell their investment. But if you ask me, is it sufficient? I will say no. There are a lot of things that has been done. So as I said, I mean, there is a general framework, there is a specific framework, but it's not sufficient. Why it is not sufficient? It is not sufficient, I will say, at three levels. First of all, the financial instruments that are existing to structure an investment are not sufficient. The legal framework existing, especially at the level of the companies law, in the Code on Companies Law, are not sufficient. What we have today is mainly ordinary shares or dividend, action à dividende prioritaire, so priority dividend shares, which are really archaic. And I mean, in Europe, we don't no more talk about that. But, and we also have convertible bonds with certain constraints. At the time of the Startup Pact, we have proposed some new financial instruments as preference shares, indexed bonds, and etc., and sets of financial instruments. So after that, we have prepared a draft law on new financial instruments in order to give a latitude also for investors and international investors to better structure an investment when they invest in a startup or in a company in Tunisia. In order also to align the interest of the investor and the founders of startups. So, I mean, just to summarize, is to align Tunisia with what's existing at the international level. Unfortunately, this draft law is still sleeping in a ministry. So, I mean, if I can say, it would be urgent that it is voted, adopted, in order to fill in this gap and to allow investors, international, but also domestic investors, to have more instruments in order to invest in a startup and in a company as well. So that's the first urgent need, I would say. The second one is regarding tax incentives. yes, I mean, there is a set of tax incentives which are existing, and especially in the Startup Act. The thing that can be done is that for an international investor, I mean, that's Tunisian legislation. So what would be interesting and really interesting, I mean, for Tunisia also to promote investment of international investor, it would be that these provisions, these tax incentives would be extended through international treaties in order to get international investor benefit from these provisions even in their countries. So to bilateralize these incentives. And the third point, or the third and last point that I would propose is that now with the general framework, international investor benefit from, through the investment sheet, from the guarantee of their investment. The thing is that this is quite archaic because they have to invest in cash. I mean, they have to transfer money in cash. Sometimes business angel not always invest in cash, but they can bring in-kind investment. It's also applicable, of course, to founders of startups. But the regime today is not really applicable, and it's quite complicated to estimate, to make this in-kind investment through the investment sheet. I mean, it's possible, but the process is not really smooth, and is so the foreign exchange regulation should be adapted to other form of investment and not only cash investment.
Great, thank you so much, Maya. Norman, before we move to Azedine to share his experience for Split, I saw you raised your hand. So if you want to add anything.
Very quick one.
Yes.
Thank you for Maya for recognizing my effort for Startup Act. I would like to mention that Maya was on the first task force that we put when I was a minister on the Startup Act, and she continued. So formally, thank you, Maya, for your efforts on Startup Act. And she's one of the best lawyers who knows the insides out of this. The second point, MDBAN is finalizing, in the process of finalize, not finalized yet, the investment guide for diaspora, business angel investment guide, the do's and don'ts in Tunisia, Morocco, and Algeria, that will be happy to share and finalize together and learn from each other on it. That's it.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great initiative. We will be glad to share it through Investi. So thank you so much, Norman. Alors, je vais switcher pour le français parce qu'on est tunisien et on aime changer parfois. Donc, pour nous, c'était très important d'avoir la perspective d'une start-up qui a réussi à lever auprès de Business Angel, d'avoir plus d'informations, de faire un petit retour sur l'expérience. C'est pour ça qu'on est très heureux aujourd'hui d'avoir avec nous Azedine Chérif, qui est le CEO de Split, une très belle start-up, pour partager son expérience avec nous. Donc, Split, ils ont réussi à lever auprès de Business Angel, ce qui leur a permis après de lever un montant plus important. Donc, merci à Azedine d'être parmi nous aujourd'hui. Alors, peut-être on peut commencer par présenter un petit peu Split, votre activité, votre solution, ce que vous faites. Vas-y, apparemment le micro est désactivé, donc voilà, très bien.
Cool. Tout d'abord, merci Aziza pour l'invitation. Je suis très très heureux d'être là, parmi des personnes que je connais très bien, de loin comme de près. Donc d'abord, pour parler un peu de Split, Split, en fait, on est parti du constat où aujourd'hui en Tunisie, on a deux catégories de personnes. On a les personnes qui se rendent au travail ou à l'université quotidiennement avec une voiture, et donc ils souffrent du coût de la voiture, de l'entretien, etc. Et on a aussi de l'autre côté des personnes qui n'ont pas de voiture, donc qui utilisent les transports publics, qui sont dans un état assez lamentable, on va dire, avec un manque de sécurité, un manque de confort, un manque de transparence. Et, et voilà, donc on a eu l'idée de créer une application de covoiturage, donc qui met en relation les personnes qui ont des voitures avec ceux qui n'en ont pas pour pouvoir justement partager un trajet commun. Donc ça permet de résoudre un des besoins, on va dire, les plus primordiaux pour l'être humain, qui est de pouvoir se situer dans le temps et dans l'espace. Parce que Wecht Fitoons, quand il se déplace avec un bus, il ne peut pas se situer dans le temps parce qu'il ne peut pas savoir quand est-ce qu'il va y arriver. Il ne sait pas quand est-ce que le bus va être là. Et il ne peut pas se situer dans l'espace parce que quand on est sous un abri de bus ou de métro Fitoons, on ne sait pas forcément, on n'a pas une carte d'itinéraire comme il y a partout à l'étranger. Donc on a du mal à se situer dans le temps et dans l'espace. Donc, donc nous, on était trois étudiants, on était donc trois étudiants de l'HEC Carthage. Euh, quand on a commencé, on a eu donc directement l'idée. On est passé à un croquis donc d'un design. On a essayé de formuler plus ou moins l'idée qu'on avait eue au col. Et l'une des premières choses qu'on avait faites à l'époque, c'était de contacter un avocat pour essayer de résoudre, on va dire, la problématique du covoiturage d'un point de vue légal. Donc, cet avocat, c'était Maître chez Brazouani, donc qui lui est beaucoup on est connecté par rapport aux startups, aux droits du numérique, etc. Donc, quand on s'était rendu pour voir Chihib, donc on avait expliqué, il nous avait expliqué comment on pouvait rendre le covoiturage légal en Tunisie. Donc, il nous avait formulé plus ou moins comme un business model, on va dire, juridique, pouvant respecter la législation. Et donc, après ça, de fil en aiguille, on est resté en contact avec Chihib. Et après ça, Chihib nous a proposé d'investir donc dans Split, en disant qu'il croyait donc au projet, que vu qu'il m'en a l'idée qu'il avait eue par rapport au business model juridique était plus ou moins unique et donc faisait que on pouvait avoir énormément de potentiel, que ce soit en Tunisie ou ailleurs. Donc, il nous a proposé d'investir. Il a proposé également à un de ses associés dans une autre entreprise d'investir avec lui. Et donc, au final, en fait, l'aventure de Split avec les Business Angels a commencé sans réellement la chercher. Et je pense que c'est ce qui arrive très, très souvent. Généralement, les propositions d'investissement qui arrivent, on ne les attend pas. Du moins, elles ne sont pas anticipables. C'est-à-dire que finalement, c'est souvent des personnes qu'on n'essaie pas de contacter ou pas forcément de notre réseau qui finissent par investir. Moi, juste pour donner vraiment un petit exemple, une anecdote qui m'a fait rire, j'avais pitché Split à pas mal de personnes de mon entourage familial ou de mon entourage de mon réseau que je connaissais déjà, qui me connaissaient déjà depuis très longtemps. Personne n'y a cru. C'est fou, hein, mais les gens qui ont tendance à trop nous connaître, en fait, peuvent ne pas réellement croire en nos projets parce que peut-être parce qu'ils nous voient un milliard Nazrar, Nigériens.
Peut-être, oui.
Ils ont
Peut-être, oui. D'accord.
ils ont peut-être un peu de mal à croire justement aux entrepreneurs qui finissent par grandir et avoir de belles
D'accord.
idées.
Très
Et,
bien. Donc, du coup, pour revenir au point que tu as mentionné, qui est très important, donc, du coup, pour le cas de Split, le premier business angel, c'était quelqu'un que vous avez, en l'occurrence, c'est Chihib Razouini, que vous avez contacté pour un avis, let's say, juridique. Après, il s'est transformé en business, transformé entre guillemets, bien sûr. Il a proposé de devenir business angel. Donc, du coup, là, on mentionne encore une fois l'importance d'avoir un réseau, d'être connecté quand on est actif au niveau de l'écosystème startup. Très bien. Donc, du coup, vous avez réussi à lever c'était le premier business angel. Après, c'était quoi, en fait, comment cette levée de fonds auprès de business angel vous a aidé à faire grandir encore plus votre startup? C'est ça, en fait.
Ok. Donc, en gros, nous, on avait levé avec Shihib et Souhail Ben Saad, qui, en fait, avaient proposé donc un apport en numéraire, de l'argent, un apport en nature, qui était, en fait, de nous mettre à disposition des locaux et aussi d'avoir une étude juridique, en bonne et due forme, une assistance juridique derrière pour l'entreprise. On a vu aussi avec eux le développement du prototype, du premier prototype de Split. Donc tout ça, ça avait été pris en charge. Donc on est resté pendant un très long moment sans dépenser d'argent, vu qu'on avait le prototype, on avait les locaux, on avait beaucoup de choses qui étaient prises en charge. Par la suite, j'avais fait le tour un peu de la place des Business Angels et aussi un peu d'autres entreprises qui m'avaient proposé d'investir. Et ce qui s'est passé, en fait, c'est que on a fini par tomber sur Zied Miled, qui est aussi un avocat, et qui est non seulement avocat, mais aussi ingénieur en télécom, donc qui était un excellent profil pour nous. C'était quelqu'un qui a directement accroché sur le projet, qui a adoré, qui a proposé donc un apport en numéraire, mais également un apport en industrie à travers réellement un coaching, un accompagnement de telle sorte à pouvoir réellement structurer la boîte sur beaucoup de volets. Et donc, en fait, le fait d'avoir eu trois business angels, donc on répète, un avocat spécialisé dans le droit du numérique qui, lui, c'était réellement d'assurer le volet légal et législatif par rapport à la zone grise du covoiturage, un ingénieur IT qui s'y connaît très bien donc dans le développement informatique, qui est aussi SBS Informatique, donc c'est une grande entreprise tunisienne dans le gaming et dans l'informatique, et un avocat et ingénieur dans les télécoms, donc pareil, spécialisé dans le droit du numérique. Donc quand on a trois business angels comme ça dans son board dès le départ, c'est sûr que ça rassure beaucoup pour les futurs potentiels investisseurs qui aimeraient faire partie de l'aventure. Et c'est ce qui s'est passé. On a eu beaucoup de chance. C'est qu'on a réussi également à convaincre par la suite un de nos partenaires, parce que également, donc c'était un de nos partenaires avec qui on travaillait, un partenaire technique sur le volet wallet et paiement de Split, qui est MS Solutions, qui nous a formulé une proposition d'investissement par la suite et qui, je pense, a été rassuré de voir trois business angels. Quand même, c'était trois très bons profils qui étaient avec nous. Donc, c'est sûr que pour une personne entrante, c'est assez rassurant.
Très bien, super. Du coup, pour récapituler peut-être un petit peu ce que tu viens de dire, Azzedine, l'un des atouts d'avoir des business angels, en fait, c'est le fait que ça pourrait aider à convaincre encore plus d'autres investisseurs après pour des levées plus importantes, ce qui est très, très important. Donc, de toute façon, bravo pour le beau parcours de Split et on vous souhaite beaucoup de courage et beaucoup de levées et voilà, d'optimisation de votre solution pour prochainement. Donc, merci pour ce témoignage. Peut-être pour finir, Azzedine, si vous avez un conseil à donner aux startups tunisiennes qui voudraient lever auprès de business angels, en fait. Même si votre expérience, elle est un peu spéciale dans la mesure où c'était un peu spontané, let's say, mais si vous avez un conseil général à donner aux startups à un certain stade de maturité qui aimeraient lever pour optimiser encore plus leurs solutions, ce serait quoi?
Okay. Alors, d'ailleurs, je dirais qu'il ne faut pas baisser les bras quand on a un refus ou quand on a un business angel qui nous ignore. Il y a les business angels qui connaissent et qui savent réellement comment investir et comment gérer une relation et un contact avec une startup. Généralement, ils vont expliquer qu'ils ne sont pas intéressés ou ils vont dire tout simplement out of the scope ou ils vont donner une justification donc au refus. Il y en a certains, malheureusement, en Tunisie encore, on a des business angels qui ne s'y connaissent pas vraiment et qui pensent que investir dans une startup, c'est un peu comme dans un petit commerce. Donc,
Ouais.
moi, il est arrivé qu'on m'ait dit si je mets 50 000 dinars d'un projet qui vaut 100 000, où le besoin en investissement est 200 000, donc je vais prendre 50% de la boîte. On a aussi le problème de valo en Tunisie. Il faut qu'il y ait une éducation un peu des business angels de ce côté-là, mais aussi du côté des startups. Il faut que ça vienne des deux côtés aussi un peu. Et je dirais donc qu'il ne faut vraiment pas baisser les bras parce que j'ai fait du porte-à-porte et j'ai envoyé, je pense, au moins une centaine, voire peut-être 200 messages rien que pour les business angels. Et à aucun moment, il faut justement baisser les bras. Il faut prendre chaque contact, chaque événement, chaque conférence comme une opportunité. Moi, j'avais eu l'occasion de rencontrer Sinormen à plusieurs reprises dans plusieurs conférences où j'allais le voir, tac, directement pour aller. Ça, j'avais marqué d'ailleurs à cause de ça. Il ne faut pas hésiter, il ne faut réellement pas hésiter, il faut foncer sans baisser les bras.
Très beau message, merci beaucoup Azzedine. And now we will maybe switch back to English.
Cool.
So thank you so much, Azzedine, for this experience sharing. I think you brought up a very important aspect when it comes to structure the business angel networks in Tunisia. The same thing, I think it would be great to have something like Business Angel Europe did for Morocco. in partnership with GIZ to support this Moroccan business angel. Maybe this will be my last question for you, Elbiji, before wrapping up and having a final word from each panelist. So can you quickly present to us the initiative you did for Morocco? How are you, it will enable them and build their capacities for next steps. So
yes.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, I don't think that there is any rocket science here. You know, we are not sending rockets to Mars. It's a people business. So, you know, what we did was quite a lot of training to a group of Moroccan business angels. Then we organized study visits for them. They managed to come and see some of the angels ecosystems and the angel clubs. They also came to our annual conference where they could meet with angel clubs from many different countries. And then, of course, we went a little bit more into the nitty-gritty and the details to which also Maya was referring to, of having you know, a framework which is, from the administrative and the legal point of view, really up to speed in order to make sure that whenever, you know, a term sheet or an investment memorandum or an investment into a company in Morocco is made, this is, you know, more or less business ready to expand also outside, and you know, investors from outside will recognize that this is done according to best practices. I should also mention that we started recently also a similar exercise with Libya, and we do have different sponsors there, but still, you know, very similar, and we are now very strongly working together with the managers of the Libyan Angel Network. And as I said, you know, this is not rocket science, but it has to be. It's more a cultural, I think, development. I believe, just to make a comment on what Ezzedine was saying before, I believe it was still good that you tried with your family and you didn't succeed, because you know, probably it was a tough test for you, and probably a lot of no's from very close people. They must have been, you know, a very hard things to digest, and probably that gave you even more, you know, strength and even more belief that you could still do it. And the fact that you succeeded outside, it's proving that family is always good, you know, whether you succeed or you do not succeed in raising money.
Thank you so much, Luigi. So we do not have a lot of time. Maybe if you could mute the mic, please, Luigi. So thank you so much. So I will try to take 2 questions maximum before we go to the final word for each panelist. So Elias Diri, to whom I say hi, asked the question saying, what about safe instruments? This is not equity and therefore doesn't benefit from the fiche d'investissement. It's English and French at the same time, but maybe he's answering more, asking a question about safe instrument. Could you tell us more about this one?
You're asking me, Aziza?
Narmeen, Luigi, Maya, anyone can answer.
Yeah, I mean, this is as usual something that it's coming from the US, and so, you know, it's a new way of structuring a deal, which basically has the advantage that you don't need, you know, to negotiate very deeply the valuation of the company at the very beginning, because sometimes it's very difficult, you know, to establish exactly values and so on and so forth. So you can have this kind of simple agreements for equity, that's the acronym, which is, you know, helping conclude a deal and, you know, then wait for the next fundraising in order to maybe then discuss more in-depth valuation. So it's a, you know, it's a tool which can be parallel to what used to be convertible loan and so on and so forth. So it's not really changing the rules of the game, but of course it takes always a little bit of time to be digested into the different local legal system of each country. We are seeing now a similar agreement in Italy as well, in which we try not to spend a huge amount of time in company valuation when it's really maybe sometimes too early to establish any value. So a good thing, and just again the need to sink it in and have it in the local system. But the basic principle is make sure you don't waste too much time, or you do not make a deal fail only because you cannot agree on valuation terms when it's very early, because sometimes that's not the most important thing to do at the very beginning.
Thank you so much, Luigi. Maya, do you want to add something about this interview? Because we have a question for you. Luigi, if you could please mute your mic. So Elias is asking, in one of our current target companies in Tunisia, we are using the following structure to invest: a safe backed by one share of the company for each angel. Then transfer the safe as a shareholder loan into the compte courant associé. So he's asking you, from your experience, do you see any issues with this structure? If you could answer this, or we could do. Okay, so it's a lot. It's very technical. Maybe we can take it after the session, because we do not have a lot of time left. 2 minutes. So if you have a final word, Naumain, what would it be for this panel for the angel investing, the current situation in Tunisia when it comes to investment, but COVID investment?
Okay, so very quickly, thank you. Very quickly, Tunisia is no more difficult than any countries. We are really advanced in this, but we don't have enough business angels. Okay. And we need to continue this education for business angels. Business angel is based about trust, and trust between the business angel, trust between the business angel and the startup, and it is not based on legal instruments. That's why, and the agreement, the moral agreement, is much more important than the paper agreement. So it's extremely important. And I saw a question from Tarek Shleifa saying, what is the link between Luigi's network and MDBan? Tarek, yes, we are exchanging contacts with Luigi. Definitely, MDBan and the European Business Club will get in touch, because I think we have a lot to gain from this interaction.
Great, thank you. Final word, maybe Maya, please. Thank you for being with us, Maya. So, a final word.
Yeah, thank you, Aziza. I think, as Naumain say, there is a very promising ecosystem of startups in Tunisia, and it's really developing. There are really great startups growing. So business angels have to follow now. And the business angel is not only a fund provider, but is also an angel provider with empathy in French. So, I mean, I think with a little push, with also some small also improvements in the legal framework, we can build a great environment.
Thank you so much, Maya. Azzedine, mot de la fin.
I know that we don't have so much time, so I will just want to say that we don't have to give up as startups, and you have to stay focused. So investment is a need, but you can start your startup like just by making a prototype without spending some money.
Great. Thank you so much, Aziz, for being with us today. Luigi, if you have final words before we finish this panel, this very interesting panel.
Well, first of all, thank you, Aziza, for organizing it. It's been really interesting and well done, and even for keeping up with the initial technology problem. I mean, this is the resilience we need for entrepreneurs and for angels, and it was good for you not to feel too disappointed and keep going, because in the end I thought it was a good panel. I believe that my final words are that first of all, I think that the way Numan is actually developing the network with the diaspora, I like the idea a lot. I believe this is the way you can really connect Tunisia with the rest of Europe and maybe even the rest of the world. And so I wish you all the best, and also the work of Maya to strengthen the legal framework. I've been dealing with the legal framework in Tunisia, as I was telling you. This was a long time ago for Société à Capital de Risque, and it took us really a long time in order to get that through, but I'm happy to see that this is also advancing. So my main wish is angel investing, to grow strong in Tunisia, and hopefully to see you all soon in a physical space to celebrate the success of angel investing in Tunisia.
Thank you so much for all the panelists for being with us today. Could mute the mic, please? Thank you so much. Thank you. So just to remind everyone that we are doing this as part of Investi project, which is a project funded by the European Union through Expertise France as part of InnovEU for Innovation project, and run by Tunisian startups. So what we do is that we connect promising Tunisian startups with national and international investors. We organize e-pitch sessions along with Investi Talks, as the one we are doing today. So our upcoming pitch sessions will be held in July 23rd at 10 a.m. Tunis time. We have already selected 4 amazing startups looking to raise funds from business angels. So if you are a business angel among us today, you can be with us. You will find the link in Tunisian startups the Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you to all the panelists. I see the great background of Nauman, so enjoy, and see you soon, everyone. Thank you. Ciao.
See you.
Merci.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Au revoir.
Ciao.
Ciao.